Hi everybody. We are going early today for Guruji's live because I had a conflict schedule and Guruji was kind enough to accommodate. So I hope as many of us can attend and get breaking patterns or sanskars with Guruji. Just typing it on there, pinning comment. Yeah, hopefully for next Wednesday we can go back to our normal time because I was supposed to have a class in the morning that I was attending, and the class by itself also just got cancelled. So I feel like we changed the timing and really we did not even need to. I feel bad we put Guruji through this change in schedule. But thank you for joining, everybody, those who, could adjust to the change of time and then be able to join us still. Hi, Ashu. Thank you. Thank you, Anil. Hi, Maitri. Hi, Priyanka. Hi, everybody. I hope our morning just barely got done where I finished my morning routine. My older one has gone to school. Hi, Vijay. My younger one is here on the breakfast table. I'm just still sipping. I did not have milk today. I'm having just water, hot water this morning. Sorry, I make a noise when I sip. I'll try not to. Thanks, Rohini. It's lovely to have you guys over here too. I'm waiting for Guruji. I feel like Guruji has joined, but we have not gotten a request. Oh, we just got a request from him. So I just let Guruji in. So now Guruji will have him. Guruji, Pranam
Namaste.
Guruji, Pranam Guruji. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Can you see me well?
I can see you very well. We can hear you well. We can see you well. Guruji, I want to apologize for the change in the schedule.
Ah,
I was doing a Sahita Vachan class that I had signed up for, and that was, anyways, the sad part is they changed the class in the morning. The timing changed, and we changed our
ah.
timing, but that class got cancelled this morning. So hopefully by next Wednesday, we'll be back to our normal routine if that still works for you, Guruji. We'll see. We'll
But
talk.
from my side, this is convenient for me. But I
Oh, this
think
is better. Then we can
ordinarily,
always do this. Guruji, we can always
ah,
do this. Let's just stick with this.
okay,
Eventually the viewers will also catch up and start doing the morning.
okay,
Once
okay.
every, yeah. Okay, great, Guruji. So how are you doing? Very well, as always.
Everything is doing very well.
Okay, Guruji, great, great, Guruji. So today we are going to talk about a topic which I think is relevant to a lot of people, to everybody, which is breaking of sanskars, breaking of the
Mhm.
patterns, the scripts that we all create and that we start living by, the addictions we start having to emotions. So, Guruji, can you explain to everybody who's listening what is a sanskar? Because there's a lot of people who are watching who may not know what a sanskar is. I may not know fully well. So why don't we hear it from you?
Okay. Samskara in Sanskrit, there is no exact translation in English.
Hmm. Hmm.
It has mainly two meanings.
Hmm.
One is the past impression.
Mm-hmm.
Second is like refinement.
Hmm. Process.
Samskarana means like a gold, ore can be heated and it can be purified. That is what is called
Hmm.
samskarana.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing is like what are the experiences we are going through.
Mm-hmm.
That memory will be installed within us like memory scars.
Hmm.
That is what is called past impressions and samskara.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
these are the main two meanings in
Hmm.
Sanskrit.
Right, Guruji. And I always thought that they are connected because this is how I felt that when you do a sanskar on a certain dravya or substance, it
Mm.
changes forever, right? So when you heat milk and it changes forever, and then
Property.
yeah, so the property changes. So the same way when we go through an experience in our
Mm.
life, and
Yes.
that experience is etched in our memory and
Yes.
etched on our soul, that becomes a sanskar, and it stays with us because it has changed us in some manner.
Mhm.
Right? Now,
Yes.
the only
Yes.
difference between dravyas or substances and humans is that we have the ability to rewind these sanskars, right, Guruji?
True.
Right. And would you say that our main duty on earth is also to work on our sanskars, Guruji? I want to talk about how is it that we start working on our sanskars. So just to give examples to people, right? Sanskars could be like, oh, whenever somebody's late, I get very, very angry, or this is how I behave when I mean, for me, Guruji, the sanskars that I'm dealing with, the habits that I'm dealing with is, I don't know if that's a sanskar, but like checking my phone first thing in the morning, I want to break it. Or the sanskar that whenever I feel uncomfortable, especially in the evenings, I want to eat something. You know, that has become a sanskar. So these are little sanskars, but the truth is, sanskars haunt us all day, every day.
Yeah, but checking our phone on a regular basis or habit of having a cup of tea, these are all not samskara. These are all habits.
These are all habits. Sanskaras
Habits.
are purely what happens through an experience and stays with you.
Samskaras are the memories or the past impressions through which our behavior and habits are being developed. It's like if you take a seed of a mango, and when you put that seed in the soil, pour some water, gradually you can see a plant is coming up from that. And you will get a mango tree. You will not get a jackfruit tree. Why? The past impressions installed in that seed is the properties of a mango tree. That is why that source is using or it is attracting mist, fertilizer, energy from sun, everything is processed, and based on that samskara, the plant is developing.
Got it.
Same way, what is imprinted in our inner memory storage, then through that filters, we will analyze the external stimulations. Just now you said, if somebody is late, you may be angry because you start seeing through your filter of memory. But if your memory is something different, that you also had gone through that person's experiences, that memories are there. Immediately, what you will do, you will place yourself in that position. Then you may not become angry because your analysis will be entirely different, and your hormones which are being developed due to that analysis will be different. So your reaction will be depending on the past impressions already etched in that in your memory storage, and the behavior will be an outcome of that samskara. That is why if somebody misbehaves, we may say, oh, his samskara is not right. That means the past memories, impressions are not good. That is why he is behaving like this.
Right, Guruji. So sanskaras are programs that are installed in our memory. They're literally the
Yeah.
programs that get installed through the experiences we have. And then we keep
Yeah.
building those programs and we act according to the program that has been installed and those scripts
Yeah.
that we have. So
Yes.
Guruji, where does the work, right, of samskara begin? Because for years, Guruji, for lifetimes, people can go on with the sanskaras and in fact even build more sanskaras. So as a person who's listening to this, let's just say for the first time, what is the first thing that they should bring to their awareness for this kind of work?
Now, first question you asked where samskara begins.
Yeah.
Okay. Samskara begins from the day of creation. We all are having the past memories of our all lives from the energy level, from unmodified state of energy. Then how that energy transformed itself into memories, then or the molecular changes, then how mind developed, then how the molecules of our body developed. All these transformations, and from the first cell, as you started as a mollusk, then you expanded or you evolved from that one cell state of existence, then developed into a full-grown human being. All these memories are engraved in our body or on our mind, or we call where the memory storage is. It is already there. So the samskara started from the very beginning. That is why the word samskara developed. Karaga means action. Sam means sat, the essence of existence. So an action is infused in the syllable sam is called samskara. So Sanskrit is a language of like analysis of experience and existence. So that is why everything is, each and every word will have a root, the feeling or experience from which the expression develops. So samskara is developing like that. It is everywhere. It is one with our creation, preservation, and destruction. All these things are happening in that ocean of samskara. Then you may ask how we have to change it. If you want to change the samskara, learn the technique of changing the heat in the body.
Okay.
Tapa. Yeah. When you learn how to play with the heat in the body, you will become a tapasa. The process of doing that is tapas. If you want to eliminate one particular memory, then you should learn how to heat it. As I told you before, if you take a seed of jackfruit and keep it somewhere, maybe thousands of years it can remain like that. And if it is planted in the or kept in the soil later, when the comfortable situation comes, you can see as a plant is coming out from that seed. That means that memory is alive in that seed. But if you take the seed and fry it put it in a frying pan and fry it, then whatever comfortable situation you produce and keep in the soil, that seed cannot give you a plant because that memories are drained. It is, like what we can heat it up and is eliminated from that because of the heat. You dried it up. Same way, when we do the tapa, yoga will produce yogagni, yogic fire. When you produce yogic fire within, all your past impressions will be dried up. It will be burned off by the yogic fire. Through that, you can eliminate your past impressions, you can change your samskara, and if you want, you can rewrite. Yes, this can be done by a yogi. Yes.
So, Guruji, does somebody first become aware of the samskara that they want to take? First, I actually want to summarize what you said. So, Guruji, you said that the samskaras that are etched, the only way, right, like you had explained to us earlier, is that heat really allows us to change energy and energetic patterns. So, similarly, when all this energy becomes a strong sanskara and we want to change it, we have to first heat it. Like anything in the universe that needs to change form needs heat. So for these sanskaras to change, we need that heat. And that kind of heat is not that we go and stand in a sauna. The kind of heat is internal tapas, because this is internal. These sanskaras are internal density. It's an internal density in our body, in our psyche. So so you do internal tapasya, and the yogic tapasya that creates the yogic heat allows us to rewire ourselves. Whether it's called epigenetics today or, we call it recreation of sanskaras and rewriting of sanskaras. That's what it is. But Guruji, my question to you is, do people first need to become aware of the sanskaras that they want to break? There's, if somebody says, I'm going to do yogic tapasya, but I'm not aware of what I want to change and I'm blindly going to do it. What is it that do we need to pick one sanskara at a time and become closely aware of it? I mean, personally, I'll be honest with you, Guruji. I feel like whatever sanskara I want to change, and I think about it, somehow the universe gives me that whole, will bring it up for me. Like I will start experiencing those situations very regularly with a new awareness. and that has worked for me. But I don't know how should one approach the breaking of sanskaras is it an order? Is it just tapasya and let it happen?
It is a question like, why do you go to a doctor? If you are not having a problem or a disease or some kind of illness, why should you approach a doctor? You are okay, you are healthy and happy. Then there is no need of a doctor. But if you have a problem, then you have to analyze, you are experiencing something which you don't want.
Yes.
Then only you are going to a doctor saying that, doctor, I have this problem. Same way, if all your past samskara, impressions are giving you a comfortable life and happy life, then why should we bother about it? But if something is, asking, or something is making you confused, or you feel that everything is fine, I have a good job, I have good life, everything is fine, but still, what is the purpose of this life? If you get such a question, like Siddhartha Gautama, or the prince of, what was his name? What was?
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot that country.
Kapilavastu.
Kapilavastu. Yes,
Yeah.
you are right. Yes. So the prince of Kapilavastu was having everything, and but one question was there unanswered with him. Hey, why the suffering? Being a prince, he was having everything, but still he was not contented with it. So that is why he left his palace and went to his seclusion, and then Siddhartha Gautama, evolved to a Buddha. This is what happened. So same way, everybody will have small or big questions within us. Then we should find out where we are standing, which is the question which disturbing or irritating us. If that kind of stimulation or irritation or quest is there, then we have to accept that, yes, now I am standing in this level of samskara. So where I should go? I should improve my samskara, or I should eliminate the existing one. Then if the question is not answered, approach an experienced person, which we call gurus. Then we can discuss, like a doctor, you can discuss with the guru, then find out the way, where you have to start, how intensive the practice should be. It based on Kala, Desha, Pramana. Kala means which time, which era you are. And Desha means which environment you are. Then Pramana means quantity, how intensive you have to apply your concentration. Wherever my mind is concentrated, heat will be generated. That yogic heat will start dealing with our existing problems. Yes.
Okay, great. So Guruji said that we have to become aware. So Guruji, whenever, right, this is how I feel, that like what you said, every time you feel you're not in equilibrium, you feel that there's a discomfort inside. That's where the question comes that, oh, what is this? I'm not in the center. I'm a little off center. And every time we feel off center, that gives us a hint into our sanskara. And that's when you go to a guru, and according to the time, the environment, and the intensity, the kala, desha, pramana of the sanskara, the guru can guide us with how that sanskara can be dealt with. Guruji, your connection is actually getting a little bit weaker somehow. Suddenly it became a little weaker.
Oh, I also felt it.
Yeah. I don't know. Guys, can you all tell us, was that my connection? Or did I freeze, or did Guruji freeze for you all? Because it's raining here today. Let's see what people... Is it better now, Guruji?
Yeah, there was little disturbance, but now it's fine.
Now it's fine. Okay. So, Guruji, I want to give you one example. Right? I'll tell you one example, one sanskara. I'm just using my example. So, Guruji, for me, for example, Guruji froze, now he's back. Okay. Now, Guruji, so one example. When my children sit to eat dinner, okay,
Hmm.
and if they start talking and moving,
Hmm.
and now I identified it, I've become much more aware of it. But I used to be very, very, it used to make me very uncomfortable. I used to be like, oh my God, like my whole body would change and, my whole body would become tight because, and I'm like, this is not even a big deal. And I have a lot of patience. Where is that coming from, right? So I started just becoming aware of it and started examining it. Now my reactions are better, Guruji, but my sanskar is not gone. Like it's still a difficult time for me. So what is it, for example, that where is it that my journey should begin?
Anyhow, you recognized that you are becoming angry by seeing your children.
Yeah, when they're
Or when they
moving
eat.
and they're
Yeah,
not eating.
yeah, of course, in that particular situation, not every time. So you are aware that anger is not good for you. And it is not necessary to be angry with the children when they behave like that. Why do we call them children? Because there will be some childish, actions and reactions. That's why
Yeah.
we call them children. If your child is always sitting like me, or like an inexperienced person, that has to like that become very serious, then it will make you upset. Why? Because that child should not be behaving like a mature person. So it is your problem, or it is your limitation to
Yeah.
understand and accept that childish behavior. So your past memories are not comforting you. You are aware of it. Then change that memories and rewrite it. Like now, when I see a person, even a thief, who is stealing something, I will try my level best to block him, but I will not become angry with him. You know why? Earlier, I used to be very furious, and I used to use my karate and all these things to him earlier. But later, I came to know that is not the way, because nothing is happening in this nature without nature's approval. And then I asked myself, why a person was born as a thief? How that stealing tendency was installed in that particular person? If it is done by nature, then what else that poor guy can do? He has to steal things because he is born as a thief. So I have the right to stop him, take legal actions against him according to the constitution. But I have no right to be angry with him. That is my limitation. If I become angry, that is a reflection of my ignorance about the cosmic law. When I recognize that, yes, I say I am ignorant about the law of nature. So I was having a wrong impression, wrong samskara within about that action. Then I rewrote that. Then I installed with a new idea. Yes, each and everything, even the blinking of eye, is being controlled by Mother Nature. If something is happening, whether I like it or not, it is the approval or the instruction of nature. I have to accept it. And at the same time, I have equal right either to question or accept, but no need to be angry or overjoyed. This is what you call sammyaka. Samyak means you have to
in balance.
maintain the equilibrium. We should not be carried away with nice things, and we should not put ourselves into desperation and all these things due to the analysis of samskara. So we should maintain the centralized thought. That is why we are focusing on yoga, the middle, the central part of the eyes or the spinal cord.
So, Guruji, so like you said, right, that okay, we are allowed to respond, but not react. When you react, it's coming from a place of inequilibrium. A response it comes from a place of equilibrium. Now, for example, when I'm talking to you about the problem with my children, right? So I have learned the same thing. I've learned, oh, they are kids. This is how they're going to do. They're going to eat. Their food is going to get cold. So I've learned to not to not react like that, right? I've learned to not react like that, and they've also become better, right? And I've also told them that, hey, children, this is mummy's problem; it's not yours, because suddenly my body language changes, and they're like, "What happened, mummy?" And I tell them, it's my problem; it's not your problem; it's my habit inside which makes me uncomfortable. It's nothing to do with you. But Guruji, still, this has been many years now, okay? But I don't say anything; I don't react, but my mind is still like it's making this cranky noise inside. It's gotten better. So what is it, just a matter of time that it's going to, when we start breaking these sanskaras and we make those external changes and become aware, is it then just a matter of time, or is there something that I can do to expedite this change?
Now we have to make a structural change. There is a great mistake within your explanation now.
Okay.
See, when we see something out there, either good or bad, we should be very live, or we should be very responsive. We have to respond. Otherwise, there is no life. If children are making mistakes, according to our culture and our like decency, we have to respond. We should show our disapproval. And we should not be we should not take a Hippocratic like behavior. If you are feeling angry and children are making you angry, you have the right to be, and you have the right to show the anger. Children should be guided like that. You, being a mother, an experienced person about the social rules and safety, everything, if they go against your wish, but it should not be covered with a smiling face. You should be honest and you should be clear about that. But at the same time, it should not disturb your inner peace or inner balance. If my child is making a mistake, according to my analysis, definitely I will show my disapproval that sorry, I cannot allow this, and I will not tolerate it anymore. But my hormonal change will not be beyond my control.
It's minimum. The hormone internal change, yes.
Yes, this should be happening within us, with our control. Naturally, what's happening, or in majority of people, their adrenal gland will produce more adrenaline when they see something which they don't like, and they become angry. Blood is already polluted, but still they will not express, they will not take out that feeling.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
That suppression, gradually a continuous suppression, will lead to a strong depression. Or that depression slowly take us to some kind of aggression that we don't want. So you should be honest with yourself, and along with our surroundings also, we have to be very open and straight.
Right.
Wherever you feel something wrong, you should be able to say, I'm sorry, I don't agree that. If you see something very nice, don't hesitate to appreciate it.
Yes, Guruji.
So both will be the reflection of our inner balance. So we should not be we should not hide anything and hold anything within to toxify our blood.
Yes, no, absolutely, Guruji. Honestly, that I do. I've told the kids that all my rules are the constitution. I'm the governor, I'm the prime minister, I make the constitution. But beyond the constitution, even before they sit to eat, my body changes. So before they've broken the rule, my body changes. So in that case, I've learned now to identify. So we continue to do what you're saying, Guruji. And then the tapas. So when does the tapasya begin? Or is this the tapasya itself?
Definitely. Rectification of our inner balance or the hormonal changes. This is a tapas.
Hmm.
Wherever you need, wherever you feel that there must be a change, there must be rectification, you keep engaging yourself into that. That is what is called tapas. Yes.
Okay, Guruji. So we keep engaging in it. There is no other practice. You keep engaging in that same, in the same awareness and the same rewriting of the script again and again and again, and then you automatically become rewired. And I really liked what you said, Guruji, because I think it's very missed. I personally am a very expressive person, so I do express very openly. But I think it's such a big problem of our times that, yeah, to express when we are not feeling a certain way and to express when we are feeling a certain way, right, Guruji? That becomes important. But also, Guruji, if I'm not mistaken, it should come with the awareness that is this coming from, is this feeling, emotion coming from a higher place or a lower place, right? When it comes from an extreme reaction within, at least that awareness would help, Guruji, right? Like, for example, when we use the example of somebody being late, right? Let's say somebody is late, and I'm late to somebody's appointment, and they get upset, like I'm 5 minutes late, and they get very angry, like more angry than they should, and I may have a good reason, and really start being like, oh my God, I'm going to express myself. So that's actually coming. There's reasonable amounts of anger is understood. Hey, you were late, I had to wait. But to go over the top is coming from a deeper place. It's coming from a strong sanskar that they are holding. What should one do in that? What should my position be in that time?
When you become angry, or when you see the other person is getting angry, what you're asking, like how to manage by yourself or how to deal with that person?
So, Guruji, that literally happened with me once, very recently, that I was a little late to meet a friend of mine, and there was some construction happening and it got late, right? I messaged her that I'm going to be a little late. But when I reached there, she was just furious, like furious to another level. I apologized. And I understand the anger. I even said, listen, I understand the anger. It's not fun to wait. It's so hot. It must be so annoying to wait for so long. But she was very, very upset. So I told her, listen, you just take some time till you feel better. So, but what should my duty be at that point? What should I be doing at that point?
First,
when people get so angry because of their sanskars.
Yes. See, if I were in your position, first I will place myself in that my friend's position, and I'll ask myself, what would have been my reaction if I was kept over there in the hot sun this much time?
Yeah.
And then how I would have been reacting to my friend. First, I will analyze that. Then I will tell myself that, yes, okay, she or he is doing not as aggressive as me. Like
yeah,
that.
for sure. She was 20 times more aggressive than I could be, Guruji.
Okay. So that thought itself will make me relaxed. Okay. Then again, if my friend is going beyond limit, then I will tell myself that is my friend's samskar.
Yeah, totally.
Playing behind all these things. And I have nothing to do with that.
I agree. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, this is what is called tyaga in Sanskrit. Tyaga means just give up. So we should separate ourselves from that vibration. Even though we are standing or sitting with that person, we should know how to protect ourselves from like that vibrations. That process is called putting a kavacha. Kavacha means a shield of patience or tolerance. Then we should focus on our breath, tell ourselves that my adrenaline is not going to come up. Instead of adrenaline, I will produce more oxytocin. Then I can forgive that person. I can justify myself. See, end of the day, we should be healthy and happy. And whatever may be the external situation.
Absolutely.
So learn forgiveness and to be more grateful. And same time, that person was waiting for you. Just say the apology from your heart. That is more than enough.
Okay, Guruji, lovely. I really like this. It's so important, and you explained it in a very kavacha, using the word kavacha. Because I tell
Yeah.
myself, okay, this is not my business, this is their business. I'm not making it my business. But yeah, the way you have said it, Guruji, and I think, guys, for everybody, this is such a great concept that when we have an energetic connection with somebody, or we have an event with somebody, interaction with somebody, where their energy may seem more intense. So the first thing Guruji said is put yourself in their position and see whether you feel the intensity is justified, and to what level would you in that position justify that intensity. Definitely
Yes.
apologize and make up for that level, what you can see from your belief systems and your understanding. If something you think is beyond that, it's probably a sanskara or a darkness that they are dealing with. And when they're dealing with it, they're probably already they're suffering more than you can ever make them. They're already suffering because they're already feeling so strong with their sanskara. And at that point, we can just give them compassion and be like, I know you're
True.
struggling with your sanskara, and I'm
Yes.
seeing you're struggling with your sanskara. I will just give you compassion. I took responsibility for my part of the action, and I will take
True.
responsibility for my part of the action. For everything else, I feel compassionate.
Of course. Yes, that is the right approach.
Okay. Okay, Guruji. No, that was very, very good. Okay, Guruji, we want to, there's some questions. Let's take a few questions before. Okay. Okay, we already answered this question. The next question. Let's see. Sorry, Guruji. How do you visualize to produce oxytocin? Guruji, that was the question. And there's another question. Actually, Guruji, let's take this question first. What if the parents are prejudiced and showing disapproval of that? What to do then? I think it's the same answer, that even when, as adults, when sometimes our parents are suffering from their own sanskaras, right, Guruji? You take responsibility for
True.
your action and then show compassion for the rest of it. I think just this whole, you explained it all. I feel, Guruji, all of the questions I'm looking at, you've already answered all the answers, Guruji.
See that
Because
that is why.
you've done such a good job, huh?
See, yoga is the art of inclusiveness. So it is not treating one symptom. It is considering the system as a whole. So body, mind, spirit, environment, everything is being comprised in the art of yoga. When you become a yogi, you can deal with everything and you can be with everything without being carried away with anything. That is the main benefit of practicing yoga. When I question you just said how oxytocin can be created or produced. That is why we ask everybody to focus on the center of eyebrows. When we focus our mind in the Bhumadhya, center of eyebrows, where the pineal gland is situated, that will be stimulated and it will be active every time, whenever it is necessary, without a delay, oxytocin will be produced.
So you press a button, you have a little button each time. And Guruji, I feel like sometimes even when I breathe really deeply, I feel like the whole breath goes all the way up. And that kind of really, I feel like is also a button to that, pineal gland. It's like a little tickling. And then you feel instant calm.
Yes, and there is no need of deliberate effort to press the button. If you keep the pineal gland active through systematic meditation, whenever is necessary, it will be naturally activated.
Lovely, lovely, Guruji. So really that satata abhyas, that daily practice is really the most important thing.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so Guruji, I think all the questions are answered. Maje, and I want to ask you another question. Maje, was that a question? Did you want to talk to Guruji about that? She's saying that my mother is getting very angry for no reason recently. They lost their father. So she lost her father, and I think the mother is upset, and then that's her way of dealing with, her high sanskaras that come up. So, Guruji, you have anything to say to that?
Yes. See, there are many hidden things which cannot be dealt within. Then once it comes out, it will take a different phase. Like, say, once I saw a movie. It was a very nice situation. Still, I remember it because
What was the
that
movie?
scene was
Guruji, give us the movie first.
the scene was like a excursion trip. So children from a primary school, they were going for an excursion, and one boy was unnecessarily becoming angry. So he was so furious. Anybody touches him, he is shouting. So his elder sister approached him with a firm voice. She asked, "Why are you shouting?" Then slowly he started crying and said, "I want to peace." So this boy wanted to go to toilet, but in the bus he couldn't express his feeling. So he became angry. Then when somebody or his sister asked him with a firm voice, then he said, "Yeah, this is my reason. This is the reason why I am becoming angry." So same way, even grown people are inside. We are all children. Though we have a gray hair, baldness, everything is there, but still,
Absolutely.
one section of our brain is very, very childish. We don't know majority of the purpose of our life, and we don't know how to handle the situations. But still, we claim that we know everything. We are civilized and diplomatic, and all false claims we will have. But
Absolutely,
in reality,
Guruji.
yes, majority of society is miserably failing to deal with the day-to-day activities. So your friend's mother, she lost her husband, and she doesn't know how to handle the situation. She's depressed, or she is struggling within, and she is expressing that thing as anger. So we have to understand this thing and extend our support, show our compassion, and give the vibration of love and care. That much only we can do.
And Guruji, sometimes when it's becoming very hard for us to exist in that energy, because we have our own sanskaras, right, Guruji? So if it's becoming very hard for us, let's say, to be in that environment, should we then be patient and compassionate with ourselves also, and just like you said, as a kavacha, for some time, if it's not possible to energetically disconnect, to just take a little time off?
Hello?
Hello, Guruji. Could you hear my question?
No, I didn't get complete question because I think something is wrong with our connection.
Network. Yeah. Okay,
I don't
Guruji.
know
I'll
from
repeat
your
it.
side or my side.
No, so I think Guruji, I think it's from your side, they said. That's what they said. But it's okay, I'll repeat the question. The connection is back now, Guruji. So I'll tell you. So Guruji, sometimes, right, when somebody is having an extreme reaction because of a sanskara, because of pent up emotions, and we, like you said, we should have our own kavacha and we should extend compassion. But because of our own sanskaras, because of the sanskaras that we are carrying, and it becomes difficult to have an energetic kavach. Energetically, it becomes hard to have a kavach. At that point, should we take some time off interacting with the person and just kind of go back into our meditation for some time and then come back?
Again, these questions are the outcome of our weakness and ignorance about our own self. If you want to be compassionate, you must have adequate quantity of exuberance. Then only you can be compassionate. It is very easy to say, but bring it into action is entirely different. You cannot extend or you cannot give something which it is not already having in your custody. So if you want to feed somebody, you should have adequate quantity of food. Then only you can feed someone else. Same way, if you want to be compassionate, you must know how exuberant you are and how joyful you are. That joy can be extended to others. Otherwise, we have to think. These kind of feelings and vibrations are beyond our thoughts. Second thing, when you know which is the comfortable state of existence, and when you become aware of that, which vibration is disturbing my harmony, there only you can put your kavacha. So you should be experienced. You should be equipped and experienced for dealing with that vibration. For that, you need inner experience. When you get that experience, these questions will become insignificant.
Right, Guruji. So the whole journey is about strengthening that place inside, where that, like having that strong kavacha, that nothing else can bother you because you're so strong. You understand, like you said, you're always in tune with the energetic vibrations, understanding what disturbs, what doesn't disturb, but constantly working towards that state of equilibrium all the time, so that when things happen, you have less and less reason to deviate. Now, for example, Guruji, the girl who right now spoke about her mother, right? She said that she's lost her father. So even she's grieving. She's also grieving. The mother is also grieving. In this state, it's a difficult situation because she's also in a bad situation. And she said that the mother is getting very upset at her. So I can imagine, Guruji, that she's already feeling very vulnerable at this point. At this point, what is it that she should do? Because she's already feeling very vulnerable because she's had a big loss right now.
Yes, she is feeling vulnerable because she is weak. She is not spiritually educated. That is her weakness. If she can educate herself in spiritual plane of consciousness, she will come to know, or she will feel the existence of her father in a different plane.
Absolutely.
Then that vulnerability will vanish.
Absolutely.
That means she is strong from within. When she becomes strong from within, that vibration slowly influence her mother. Then mother also will be getting a tendency to think in that way. So what we should do, instead of thinking about the external vibrations, we should focus within. Change should be happening from within. Then that will start permeating to the surroundings. This is what we should do.
Sounds great, Guruji. I hope that was a good answer, Majay. I know that it's very difficult, but I know this is possible. I mean, Guruji is saying it, and I know I have experienced it, especially in this kind of a situation, that, to feel the energetic vibration of a lost one. Okay, Guruji, one question. This is a very good question. What about intergenerational patterns? How do we, there's a lot of things happening now in the US about dealing with ancestral trauma. And how do you break intergenerational patterns? Guruji, is there really such a thing as ancestral trauma?
Again, this is the poor maintenance of our samskara, our past impressions. These people should be educated in spiritual way. I mean, in a scientific way, the spiritual education should be applied. Not by beliefs or this so-called methods of different patterns of exercise. They should be serious and scientific enough to understand the truth of their own existence. Then only the memory stimulations can be managed through hormonal balances. Everybody should be educated how to deal with the hormone variation through pranayama.
So, Guruji,
I mean, when they
we could hear you. No, we could hear you very clearly, Guruji. I could hear you clearly. I can even repeat what you said. You said that, that each person through pranayama, we should understand to deal with our own vibrational deviations that we experience. Through our breath work, we can do that. So Guruji, all of
Yes.
this ancestral trauma and this and that, I personally don't pay much attention to it. I also feel like it's kind of becoming an excuse for people to blame things on ancestors. But the work is the same, right, Guruji? Whether it exists or it does not exist, the work is still inner work.
Of course, world is existing, but the problem lies in this level. Like now we are getting through mediums. Either we can read a book or we can get an interaction with somebody. Then informations are infused in our memory storage. And we don't know how to, like label it and, set it in our memory track. It's like a library. If you go to the library, you can see heaps of books. If it is not labeled and segregated with the proper, labels and all these things, that will be a mess. It will be very
Confusion.
difficult to handle that library. Same way, our mind is only a library which is having informations through 5 senses. And there is a mechanism which will label each and every thought, segregate it, and keep it in each and every rack with certain labels. Exactly how we store things in our computer. There will be a file which is having different labels, spiritual label or physical, medical. Like we will keep labels and feed informations in that file. If it is not done, how we can retrieve one message from that computer? How you can use it? Same way, if our mind is processed in a way that all these thoughts are labeled, segregated, and kept in an order, it will become a mess. Then unnecessarily these memories will start coming up as our behavior. There we have to label it like ancestor trauma or some other trauma. We start labeling as symptoms or diseases.
Got it. Got it. So this is just a classification system.
Of course, when you open your computer in search of something which you are in, very urgent file you need, like you made a schedule for your class, but it is not stored properly, or your computer is having a problem. Instead of giving your schedule of class, it is giving you a cookery file. What will be your situation?
Got it.
Same thing is happening with our brain. We keep everything in our memory storage, but things are coming out without the necessity. So unnecessary thoughts are coming up. There, the person gets upset.
That makes complete sense. Where you, instead of being like, where did this come from? Where did this come from? Where did this come from? When you there's a classification system, so you're not completely thrown off, and you can understand, hey, this is that. You can sit in one place because I know where you're coming from, so I know this is where you belong. Right, right. Okay, Guruji, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I think what Rekha is saying, that thank you, Guruji. So in a sense, we need to become aware of the patterns for them to stop influencing us without our control.
True. That's the, yes, that is what I meant. Yes.
That is the essence. Okay, guys, if there's any other sanskar questions, I think this was actually a very I think very clearly, I think we've been able to understand that how we have sanskars, which are these patterns and programs we carry as scripts from, we keep gathering more and more scripts. And the way to break them is through internal heat or tapasya. And for us to understand, whenever we go out of equilibrium, to start questioning, where is this coming from? What sanskar is it coming from? And at that point, asking ourselves, what do I want to rewrite this program with? And constantly creating that level of awareness, that level of focus on your pineal gland, pranayam, using all of these tools to start rewriting the script, which is not possible without awareness. So always that introspection that Guruji talks about, again, internal, the knowing of your world within. And when you go from here to here or here, whenever you go off center, that question, right, Guruji? We have 3 more
Yes.
minutes, Guruji. Would you like to add to anything? Would you like to add anything to this, Guruji? Last few words for everybody.
Everybody should sit for my breathing exercise minimum 20 minutes. That much only I have to tell every day.
20 minutes, Guruji. That breathing 3 holes does not take 20 minutes. I'm done in 12 minutes.
I mean, 20 minutes not enough?
No, I am done in 12 minutes. 12, 13 minutes, I'm done.
Okay.
So what am I
Okay.
doing less? I'm doing something less.
Anyhow, insist everybody to sit every day for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, according to the comfortable situation, and
Okay.
try your level best. And if you sit every day, definitely we will have the strong vibration or the link, the spiritual link with
Absolutely.
ourselves and our masters.
Absolutely, Guruji. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So from now on, we are going to do this at this time. Guruji, it seemed that it was possible for a lot of people to join. So this is a good time, right, Guruji? So this is the time we're going to
Of
stick
course,
with. This
for
is
me
the
also,
time.
it's very good time.
Okay, great. So this is the time we're going to be sticking with, and we will see everybody next Wednesday. Pranam, Guruji. Pranam. Thank
Namaste.
you. Pranam.